Exhaustion and anxiety gripped me as I embarked on a lengthy flight, taking a toll on my senses. Restless and fidgety, I couldn't shake an unsettling feeling about the man seated 5 rows ahead of me. Perhaps it was mere paranoia, a result of my weariness and fear of flying. But there was something about him that made me uneasy, from the moment our eyes met. Navigating the narrow aisle, burdened by my carry-on, I found myself stuck behind another passenger struggling with oversized luggage. The air filled with his wife's furious Spanish curses, prompting me to avert my gaze and control my growing irritation. It was during this momentary diversion that our eyes connected. The man's appearance was unremarkable, plain brown-haired, plain brown-eyed individual with an unassuming face that blended into the crowd. His expression revealed no specific emotions. He remained indifferent, almost blank. Despite this, I offered a small smile, hoping to find solace in our shared experience as weary travelers. But he didn't return the gesture. Eventually, the frustrated passenger ahead resolved his luggage predicament, allowing me to proceed, leaving the man behind. Settling into my seat, stowing my belongings, and donning headphones, I attempted to distract myself from the unpredictable nature of air travel. However, being in an old seat granted me occasional glimpses of the man, his fingers nervously tapping the armrest as more passengers boarded the plane. Amidst the chaotic influx of people and luggage, I noticed him occasionally turning his face, as if trying to catch sight of me. Although he didn't repeat the action, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had sparked his interest. Yet, I reasoned that he might simply be another anxious passenger seeking respite on a Brazilian beach, much like myself, escaping the harsh Canadian winter. Perhaps I was overthinking, allowing my imagination to run wild. Moments later, I realized his phone had been inactive for over an hour. He aimlessly tilted the screen, but it remained pitch black. No headphones, no entertainment. Instead, I discovered he had been using his phone as a mirror to observe me. Panic began to seep in, but I refused to show weakness or vulnerability in the face of this stranger's unsettling behavior. Discreetly clutching my purse, I made my way toward the back of the plane, seeking a flight attendant in the galley. "Is there a possibility to change seats?" I asked, struggling to maintain composure in my voice. The flight attendant initially appeared annoyed, due to limited availability of seats, but raised an eyebrow upon hearing my explanation. "The guy in 26H, he questioned, annoyance replaced by concern. "I think there's an empty seat in the back, please take it," he offered. Grateful for the chance to create distance between myself and the unsettling man, I settled into the last row. Turbulence made me nauseous, yet I felt a slight sense of relief. Engaging in a mediocre airplane dinner and listening to a light-hearted podcast, I gradually began to relax. Fatigue eventually overcame me, and I fell into an uneasy sleep. Suddenly, my eyes shot open, and my heart raced as if attempting to flee my chest. The man was there, openly staring at me from across the aisle, unaffected by the slumbering passengers surrounding us. I debated whether to pretend I was still asleep, but I refused to be intimidated. With a loud, indignant voice, I asked, "Do you need something?" The volume attracted the attention of fellow passengers, and a sympathetic flight attendant approached him. However, the man remained unfazed, his eyes fixed on mine as he smiled a smile that sent shivers down my spine, hinting at a secret yet to be unveiled. Before the flight attendant could intervene, the man turned and walked away, leaving me unsettled. The flight attendant kindly offered me another seat, but I doubted it would make a significant difference. The confined space of the airplane provided nowhere to escape, yet I hoped there was nothing more the man could do to me. 3 hours passed without further disturbance, and I remained in my seat, not daring to take any risks. As we landed, I waited for everyone else to disembark, keeping a watchful eye on the man. Catching a glimpse of his orange shirt as he exited the plane, he didn't look back. Once I confirmed he was gone and the aisles were clear, I expressed my gratitude to the flight attendant and returned to my original seat to retrieve my carry-on luggage. However, a chilling realization struck me as I reached for it, the tag bearing my personal information, including my name, phone number, and address, was missing. Now, as I prepare to board the return flight to Toronto, I am filled with fear and uncertainty about what awaits me at home. The thought of going back is daunting, as I cannot shake the lingering fear of the unknown. Excitement filled me as I embarked on a new chapter in my life, moving into a cozy apartment a few months ago. The neighborhood appeared welcoming, and I found solace in having Mr. Thompson as my friendly neighbor in the adjacent unit. However, little did I know that behind his warm smile, a disturbing secret lay hidden. Initially, Mr. Thompson proved to be an amiable and helpful neighbor, offering assistance with carrying groceries and addressing minor apartment issues. I cherished his considerate gestures, believing I had struck gold with such a thoughtful neighbor. Yet, as time passed, I started noticing peculiar occurrences. Casual remarks about my attire, or allusions to private conversations that had taken place within the confines of my home, raised suspicion. It felt as though Mr. Thompson possessed an uncanny knowledge of my daily activities. Dismissing it as mere coincidence, I convinced myself to brush off these concerns. Then, one fateful day, while rearranging my furniture, my eyes stumbled upon a discreetly concealed camera nestled among decorative items. Shock and confusion engulfed me, as the truth unraveled before my eyes. Mr. Thompson had been secretly spying on me through hidden cameras in my apartment. Fear gripped my soul as I pondered the extent of his voyeurism and the unfathomable things he might have witnessed. The feeling of violation overwhelmed me, and I couldn't help but revisit the instances when he had entered my apartment under the guise of maintenance. Now realizing it was an opportunity for him to invade my personal space. Summoning courage, I confronted Mr. Thompson, demanding an explanation for his despicable actions. His friendly facade crumbled as he swiftly shifted to a defensive stance, vehemently denying any knowledge of the cameras. Yet, deep within, I knew the truth, and the repulsive nature of his invasion of my privacy terrified me to my core. Wasting no time, I immediately contacted the authorities, filing a report against Mr. Thompson. The assurance that they would thoroughly investigate the matter washed over me, bringing immense relief as steps were taken to protect me from this perilous violation. However, in the following days, an unsettling unease clung to me like a shadow. Taking matters into my own hands, I changed my locks, implemented additional security measures, and even contemplated moving to an entirely different apartment. The mere thought of continuing to reside next door to someone who had invaded my privacy proved unbearable. Thankfully, justice eventually prevailed. The investigation brought to light a network of hidden cameras, not only within my apartment but in other units as well. Mr. Thompson's true nature was exposed, leading to his arrest for his heinous actions. The shocking revelation unfolded that I was not his sole victim. Several others had endured the same violation of their privacy. As the legal process unfolded, I couldn't help but reflect on the critical importance of vigilance and trust in our surroundings. This ordeal served as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, urging us to maintain caution and keen observation, even within the apparent safety of our own homes. The experience left an indelible mark on my being, prompting my decision to seek solace and a renewed sense of security in a different place. Nonetheless, the memory of those watchful eyes next door continues to haunt me, serving as a constant reminder to remain ever vigilant and fiercely protect my privacy.